So these are the new pads. Carbon fiber ceramic. These are the latest and greatest. I ordered these nice slotted rotors from Rock Auto, and this is the part number. This is a 2000 WJ Jeep Grand Cherokee 4.7. And I'm going to put them in the new caliper here. These are kind of the latest and greatest. I used to get semi-metallic, you know, they definitely have improved brake pads over the years. Now, there is a slew of selections on Rock Auto. You can pick, you know, brake pads that are $9, $10, $12. I would recommend, don't ever buy that cheap stuff. I made that mistake once because I was driving into San Diego, my wife and I still have my 92 Cutlass convertible, and I started grinding and I was heading into town. So right there on Harbor Drive, no, I wasn't quite into Harbor Drive yet, but I found an AutoZone, bought the cheapest ding pads I could get, and I had to do them in the parking lot. And I'm telling you, them things, I don't think they lasted 4 or 5 months, 6 months. I was putting new brake pads on again. It's worth it. Stopping, you know, to me it's more important than going. Sounds childish, I know. My whole theory would be, haul ass first, we don't need no stinking brakes. But, yeah, if you can't get it stopped, you can get dead. So, important is highly important to be able to stop. So, I like these guys do a lot of performance work and shit on the internet. I watch YouTube clips as well. See a lot of performance stuff done. But I've been impressed always by, you know, the roadkill guys always make sure they got and put on new brakes or disc brakes all the way around, stuff like that. A lot of their car projects. Yeah, they take a lot of chances. Some of the stuff I've seen them do have been questionable, but hey, they're a blast. Hope to meet them one day. I am in transition right now. Maybe I can make drag week one of these days. If I can ever get my 66 or my 71 done or something, I can go run. So we'll see. People wonder, how do you get brake fluid out of a master cylinder? Blue Shop towels are one of the nicest inventions in the world. And this is what I do. Of course, I'm doing the majority of this here before I even started recording. So I got most of it out, as you can see. But if you crammed a couple of these in there and left them for a few hours or overnight or come back to the job later, it would have the time to absorb all the old brake fluid out. Since I'm doing this job, and I got the new, on this WJ, the brand new caliper and beautiful new rotor on, and I've just got a box end of a wrench, and I could only find one big nut to kind of hold the disc flat, as I may have to incorporate my wife's help to bleed these brakes. I got a Mighty Vac around here somewhere. I got to find it. Like I said, I'm in transition to moving, so a lot of my stuff is packed. I'm having a hard time finding some of my things. But since I'm going to bleed through a lot of new fluid, or bleed through a lot of brake fluid, because that caliper's brand new with nothing in it, I want to put, you know, nice new brake fluid into it. So this is how I suck out all the old stuff. Just use a paper towel, a few of them, and it works great. A lot of this in this bag is from what dripped out of the open brake line hanging above the towels I did have on the floor there. They were soaked when I got here. I started this project a week ago, so this been dripping out through that line for a week. But this caliper housing reservoir was still pretty darn full, so I'm sucking it out now. But that's a good way of getting the brake fluid out, to be able to replace it and put majorly new stuff in. Of course, it'd be best to, if you want to do a full flush, you'd need to open up all your bleeder zerks, you know, on all 4 wheels. You know, pop that puppy open so it'll breathe out, and push new fluid all the way through. That's the proper, entire 100% replacement way of doing it. So all these brake lines get new fluid throughout them, but I've had cars for so many years, and I've seen even old fluid still seems to work. The mixing, you know, quite a lot of new with some old just isn't going to hurt anything. So I don't worry too much about that unless I'm pulling the whole thing apart. And with like any brake job, you've got to push back in the pistons, because they get, you know, forced out to squeeze the pads down on the disc. As the fluid fills into the caliper from the brake pressure through the line, You have to push the pistons back in again. I know experienced guys are laughing at this. They don't need to show it. But this is, my videos are not for teaching people to know what they're doing. People get on the internet and search for things because they don't know what they're doing. Anyway, this is one of the handiest tools. I can get a hold of it here. This is a piston brake tool. And it pushes in with great force. And all it is a little binder on the shaft. It pushes that out to squeeze back in. Now this is a design for a single piston. I've never bought the dual piston because I find that you can use these as well, as long as you just lay something very thick and strong across both pistons. The back plate of this is designed to sit inside, and then you squeeze the trigger until you're pushing down, pushing that piston in. If you've got a wrench or something good, plate steel or something to lay across there, as you're squeezing this, there. Now I'm already down all the way because I've done it before I even started videoing. That will squeeze your pistons in. And then, of course, you have to release the pressure on your bleeder zerk first. So you open that up, put some towels down because you're going to piss all over the place. As you push those pistons in, it's going to push out the old fluid. Once you've got them in all the way, it's a good idea to keep pressure on it and then retighten the bleeder zerk again. So you're not pulling air back into the caliper because your bleeding is going to take enough of it as effort to get the air back out of the system. So you press the unlock tab, push it back in, you can take it off. These sell at Amazon or anywhere else. Lindsay, other real cheap makers make them. You can probably find them Harbor Freight. They want quite a lot more for a dual piston push-in tool. These puppies can be $15 to $25 in the neighborhood. They work great. I've had this over 10 years. I've never had a problem with it. It works great.